Excuse me. So yesterday I read this article that had a lot to do with women. And it kind of, excuse me, Trex. Trex wants to say hello. Hello. I know he's cute. Hello. He wants to escape now. Anyways, this article that I read had a lot to do with women, and I wanted to do a post about it because, well, I just honestly feel that women are incredible. Just like I feel like the gay community is incredible, just like I feel like any ethnicity group that has been condemned is incredible because they have gone through a lot of unnecessary bullshit, and they probably still somewhere in their hearts feel like they need to defend themselves, and I completely understand. And it is unfair for anybody to feel that way, especially for something that they, can't help, and they shouldn't help at all. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Anyways, but today I really did want to talk about women because I read this article, and then I had a night, and I'm pretty sure I was in hell. If there's such thing as hell, that's where I was. Because I was surrounded by douchebags and women who, I don't believe in women douchebags. I believe in women who feel like they need to create a demeanor that is not themselves just to find douchebags, which confuses me. But it has a lot to do with media and how they've been manipulated to perceive themselves and how, compared to how they really should feel comfortable with who they are and what they look like. As opposed to spending hours getting ready, applying makeup, and getting their hair perfectly straight, which I, on the other hand, I'm not opposed to because I think that that can be a lot of fun. But the question is, are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it to attract a certain type of person? Because if you're doing it for yourself and to, hang out with your girlfriends and just, be you, then yeah, it's like when you're a little kid playing princess. No, it's not. That was a really bad example because that has a lot to do with how we've been socialized. Shit, does that suck? I just called myself out on some really horrible advice. Anyways, what I realized last night is that we all have a purpose, right? Most of us think that a purpose has to do with graduating high school, number one. Number two, getting a job or going to college. Then graduating college, getting a career. Well, that really isn't our purpose. That has been created for us to feel like that's our purpose. Last night, I finally realized what it means to innately have a purpose. I was out with some people, and they happened to be a lot younger than I was. A little too young to be at the bar, but that's okay because I was at that age one time too. I never wanted to go to the bar, but that doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. All that matters is that I realized that these younger women, who one of them I knew I've grown to know well. The other two I don't, but I initially really did adore them, and I still do. But I realized that it was all about getting free drinks. Okay, I've been there too, but to degrade yourself and to make yourself less respectable just to get something that's free based on a piece of paper, because that is what money is, you are aware. It comes from a tree, it's a piece of paper, it's printed, and our government system, or whoever runs our country, because it's obviously based on corporations now, can run it any time that they want. So you're degrading yourself. Trying to find a way to easily explain what is happening here. You're going out of your way to get inebriated in front of a whole group of douchebags who just want you to get inebriated so that they can find a sly way to take you home, or even just to boost their confidence. And that's exactly what you might be doing as well. I mean, what if everybody was just really honest? What if we just went into the bar and we're like, hey, you know what, I'm underage, I want to get drunk, I don't want to pay for it, give it to me. What if we all just did that? And what if we had that given to us? Do you think anybody would have one night stands? Do you think anybody would need to degrade themselves or treat themselves disrespectfully or treat other people disrespectfully just because they wanted something from them? No. So why don't you try that? Why don't you try, okay, maybe the I'm underage and I want to get drunk thing is probably not going to work. Because you probably won't even be able to get in there. And you shouldn't. You should not be. Because you're way too young and beautiful, and you do not want to put yourself in that situation at a young age. I promise you. I never did, but I still feel like in some way or another I put myself in that situation because I'm at a bar. Granted, there's a lot of really good places you can go and not be surrounded by douchebags, but at the one place I went to last night, I felt like I went back in time and went to high school where all these men probably cleanse their assholes as much as they cleanse their teeth. I'm not hating men. I really am it. I'm not. I mean, I really am not. I think men are beautiful. I'm really confused by their mannerisms and... Okay, that's not true. I don't like douchebag men. And you're a douchebag if you do cleanse your asshole as much as you cleanse your teeth. And I'll tell you why. Because you're trying too hard. And you're going nowhere in life. You might think that you've got the top job. You might think you're the top competitor. You might think you've got the best abs and the best pectorials. You might think your penis is bigger than it is, which doesn't matter because it's not the size that matters. It's emotion in the ocean. Side note of advice. For people who actually really like to have intimacy. If you just want to have fuck, I guess it's the size that matters. I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody else because I have no idea. And I really think that that's an absurd way to judge somebody's character and an absurd way to want to sleep with somebody. Getting to know a person is so much more beautiful. Okay, back to my point, because I'm trailing off, which I tend to do, but my point is that I realized what growing up means, what it means to actually be an adult. And I'll tell you that that is not the way I ever thought that would be the way it would introduce itself. But I was at this place with a bunch of disgusting men and really beautiful women that probably should not be at a place like that, but they are, and maybe they've daddy issues or mother issues or, you know, issues that are media related. All that matters is that they shouldn't be there. That's a whole nother topic. I innately felt like I had to save these women. Maybe most people would feel like, okay, yeah, I got dressed up tonight. My tits may or may not be hanging out. My ass may or may not be smoothly adapting to my clothing. But that was not something I was worried about. Not that I ever am, but I was wearing an outfit like that, and I'm ashamed of it. But it had nothing to do with attracting the opposite sex. I just happened to think that I could feel good about myself. That was really sad. Ugh, okay. All I wanted to do was rescue all these women because I knew too well what was happening. And the last thing I want these women to do is feel like they have to put themselves in situations like that. And especially because 2 out of the 3 had boyfriends. And the one girl who didn't was talking to a married man. And I love her. I do. I love you. I know you know who I'm talking to. But there is no reason to put yourself in a situation to feel better about yourself when all you are in actuality doing is degrading yourself and making yourself look like you have no respect and that you can lift somebody else's ego because you lack one. And that is something that bothers me greatly. Women You are so incredibly gorgeous. And it is true, we've been condemned throughout history because of our powers, because we are good people, because men don't want us to have the power to control humanity and the earth, because we're going to make it better. And we're not going to make money off of it. We're just going to share our love, make people feel good about themselves, because that is what actually matters in life, is caring about people. And that's how I've grown up. No, I've always cared about people, but I've realized that I had this driving force in me to rescue these women just so they wouldn't, I don't want them to feel the way that my generation had to feel, whatever that means. I mean, generation-wise. Nobody should have to go through that. Women or man, because I know men go through it too, but today we're talking about women. So don't hate on me, men. And you know what? This goes to men too, because we live in a patriarchal system. So use your power for good. Stop taking advantage. Treat people the way that really deep down you want to be treated, because I know all of you want to be treated well. And all of you have gone through this one particular situation that crushed your soul. And I've talked about this before, but women, they always will look at the optimistic side of things. Even if they don't want to, even if they don't mean to, it's somehow ingrained in our subconsciousness. We really do care. And I think that you guys should stop playing this weird masculine gender role and start expressing yourself too. And you'll find eventually that'll pay off. So again, women, gosh, please, I'm running way over time, but please don't put yourself in situations like that. I promise you it will never go anywhere, but continuously it will ruin you. And you are far more beautiful, and you've got so much more to achieve than to allow men to treat you that way, and to allow yourself to treat yourself that way. Because when you absolutely, truly love yourself, you attract people that will absolutely, truly love you. So just remember that. Because I promise you with all of my heart, that is the epitome of truth. I love you.